Hey, everybody, welcome in. Glad you're with us here on a Thursday, Longshore and McKnight. You can feel the excitement. It is Final Four time. Man, I cannot wait.
Yep.
I know that this weekend, but I'm talking about tonight. We got some Final Four action tonight. And I'm already
Was that not what you were talking about?
No.
Was that, I mean, what is this? I don't, I know it's this weekend. Forget that. Hinkle Fieldhouse, baby.
Yeah, come on.
Tonight, the history. This is where Hoosiers was filmed. I've heard that more this week than Ryan Williams was 18.
Believe it or not, I've never seen that movie.
Oh, John.
Never seen Hoosiers.
Dude has seen horrendous movies like Skyfall, 10 or 11 times.
Yeah.
And he's never seen Hoosiers.
Yeah.
I've seen Hoosiers, conservatively estimating about 8 times, 9, something like that. Great movie. And the championship game was filmed there. The one where, I know John doesn't know, Gene Hackman gets the tape measure and says 10 feet from the floor to the rim, just like back at home. And it was great. Well, there's going to be theater. There'll be drama tonight. On the edge of your seats, watching the Auburn Tigers take on Illinois State tonight.
8:30. 8:30.
8:30 at night. It's true. From Indianapolis. And the winner plays in the NIT championship game.
Which is to plan ahead. When should I pencil that in?
I knew I shouldn't have said that because I knew John didn't know and was gonna ask me.
Wait a minute. Let me see. I might be able to do that for you.
Yeah, John says, "Hey, Barry, when is that?" And Barry doesn't know. Oh, we're at a dead standstill now because you're dang sure I didn't know. It'll be on April the 5th, which is Sunday.
Okay.
At 6 o'clock. I don't know if that's Eastern. No, 5 o'clock Central Time. Sunday at 5.
Okay.
There will
Easter
be
Sunday.
Before Bob from Pike Road starts saying, it's a participation trophy tournament.
Well, true.
I get it.
Yeah.
But it'll be a banner, in case you're wondering.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no doubt. They will roll Toomer's Corner. They better if they win it.
Well, I don't know. Based on the attendance at the home NIT games, I'm not sure that's going to happen, which I even find myself strange to say, but I don't know. I don't feel the buzz and the excitement. But do you put up a banner if you win the NIT or if you just go?
No, I don't know about it. Maybe they put up something. They probably will. NIT participant or something like that, just for what they've done so far.
Yeah.
But rolling Toomer's Corner, by gosh, if you roll Toomer's Corner for a win over Pacific in football, you better roll it. If you win
really? Do they do that?
Man. I mean, they roll Toomer's Corner for just about every football win at some point. I mean, a ply or two, a square here and there. Yeah,
wasn't Terry Bowden the coach when they beat Pacific? I believe he was. It was that long ago.
If anybody wonders a little bit about the tone of this program, that's 2 times already. Heck, when do they play, Barry? Hey, wasn't Terry Bowden the coach, Barry?
I will say this.
If it wasn't for John asking me the most obscure questions he could think to ask, I don't know that this program would have evolved as well as it has. Hey, I don't know this answer. Barry, can you tell me who the coach was when Auburn football beat Pacific?
I'll say that
it was Terry Bowden. I think it was Doc.
I did not know with 100% confidence when the NIT final was. That's true. I did not know that. I am pretty confident that Terry Bowden was the coach when Auburn beat Pacific. And I believe that might have been Pacific's last year to have a football program.
It was near the end. I can tell you that. Yeah. I can tell you that. But we're going to, and I hate to do that. It's against my very nature.
I do want to ask you another question.
We're going to leave that one hanging. We may, if you guys on John's infamous text hotline, VIP line, if you guys want to look that up, you can. I don't give 2 toots about it. So, you're on your own on that one. Hey, let me ask you this. Who was the coach? Well, what about the offensive coordinator? Can you tell me who the Auburn versus Pacific.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. I'm leaving that one alone.
This, because I'm not sure our viewing and listening audience is aware of this. And this is something, Barry, I will admit, I did not know. I'm aware of the NIT. It's been around a long time. At one point in time, I'm told it was more prestigious than the NCAA tournament.
That was true.
I don't remember that.
It was it's because it wasn't in your lifetime.
Yeah.
You were not alive to remember that.
There is something going on also tonight, Barry. The quarterfinals of the college basketball crown.
You know, I heard
on FS1, and there's actually 4 teams in it that I've heard of. Unlike the NIT, Stanford and West Virginia, Rutgers and Creighton are going at it tonight in the quarters of something called the Basketball Crown. You can watch it on FS1. Never heard of it.
The only thing John knows about Crown is it goes good with Coke. I have not heard of that one.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I saw something on my little schedule where I keep track of things like who's playing and who was the head coach at Auburn when, just whatever.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I saw that and I'm thinking, what on God's green earth is that?
Well, if you're
Stanford and West Virginia.
Yep. Creighton.
Stanford's got a better record than Auburn does.
Yeah.
What are they doing there?
Well, if you're interested, last night, Oklahoma beat Colorado in overtime, 90-86, and Baylor beat Minnesota 67-48 in 2 other quarterfinal games in what's known as the Basketball Crown. There again, maybe I should know this stuff. I'm admitting I don't, but I will say, just by the eye test, is something I use every day. I'm a big fan of the eye test. Helmet teams, things like that, phrases you've heard me say before.
Yep.
I've heard of every team that I just mentioned that's playing in this Crown tournament. There's several teams in this NIT I hadn't. Illinois State, the Red Hawks.
The Red Birds.
Oh, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
See? Never had heard of them before.
See, and this is what I love. That when John says, see, this is honestly what he's thinking. If they're not good enough for me to have heard of them, that's on them.
Yeah.
A lack of knowledge on any particular subject is met with the rationalization that, hey, look, I've been around for a long time now. If I hadn't heard of them by now, there's no reason why I should. I've gotten along pretty good in this life without knowing Illinois State.
Yeah. Now, I don't want that to come across.
If they're not good enough for me to have heard of them before, that's their fault.
Barry, I don't want this to come across that I don't know, discounting the achievements that Auburn has made through this illustrious NIT tournament. What was it again? Nevada, Seattle, Illinois State, and South Alabama. How did I forget about
South Alabama in the opening round? Yes.
How could I forget? So, Final Four action tonight, albeit a little late. We'll take a look at it, see how it plays out. But Auburn got some other good news, Barry. A 7-footer, I believe, coming to Auburn to play basketball next season from France.
Yes, that is true. The transfer portal for schools that have lost their head coach, transfer portal began, I think, yesterday, where you could announce and all that. But the transfer portal otherwise, I think that it begins tomorrow. A French player, 7 feet, named Narcisse Ngoy, has signed with Auburn basketball. He played in France, and he's 7 feet. That's about all I got on him.
Yeah.
He's tall, and he's French.
Does he? I guess that doesn't count taking away the spot of a high school player that could have gone to Auburn to play basketball. I mean, that was kind of a thing a couple of months ago. Not, guys taking up slots that high school kids could take advantage of. I guess it doesn't matter when a kid comes from overseas. He just can't have played G League basketball. I guess that's a little different.
Yeah, I guess so. Everybody's in the transfer portal now, and that takes away from that. But yeah, he is Narcisse. I want to say Ngoy. I have not heard his name mentioned in any high-profile basketball talk, but they have gotten him.
Okay.
And so there's that. Auburn playing in the NIT semifinals. Barry, who was the coach at Auburn when Auburn beat Pacific?
Terry Bowden.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, Barry, I'm told on the
I thought it was Pat Dye.
I'm told on the River Region Straw VIP text line, the score was 55-0. We actually
I was at that game.
So was one of my VIP text line guys. I
was at that game. As a matter of fact, I doubt sincerely whoever that one of 100 VIP text line guys was there at the end of that game, but I was. That was the one Alexander Ace Wright had about 4 touchdowns. He just kept sending them on the go route, and that little white cornerback was not able to keep up. They just kept throwing it down there. He kept running under it. And
I hadn't heard that name in years. He was a good one. Ace Wright. No, that wasn't his real name, though, was it?
Alexander Ace Wright.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I knew there was something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not up there in the category of Teapot and
the Lizard.
The Lizard. Yeah.
The Little Ball of Hate. These are the ones John keeps on a small Rolodex just off camera there. So,
man,
that is a little bit of an update. Braves win yesterday in a early afternoon businessman special. They beat the Athletics 5-1. The Athletics are really bad. And also, I actually got this news first from my co-host, Christy Curry, the former women's basketball coach at the University of Alabama, has been replaced. Her name is Pauline Love. Pauline Love, John. Coach Love.
She related to J.C. Love, the probate judge. I'm just thinking here. I don't know.
Is she of any way related to the Kiss song Calling Dr. Love?
Calling Dr. Love.
I have been involved in women's basketball for a long time.
Yeah.
In several different leagues at 7 different levels. I've never heard of Pauline Love's name before in my life.
Can I just give you, there again, not knowing, but just kind of my initial thoughts?
Have you ever asked permission before?
Greg Byrne probably went to this lady and said, look, we spend the least amount of money of any team in the league. I just want you to know that right off the bat. You're not going to have a lot to work with. Maybe we're not expecting a lot out of you. I don't know what it is. What we're hoping is you're going to be able to make more with less. I've actually heard that phrase used about another athletic program. A former writer used to pin that a lot. That's something I can think of.
I don't know. This is the funsy part of it. He's talking about Auburn and he's talking about Philip Marshall, but you guys already know that.
But when you texted me back and said, and I knew you were serious, I could just tell by the response that you had never heard of this person before.
I have not. I have not. Nothing wrong with that.
No,
I don't know every women's
not
basketball.
And I got to admit, Barry, if you had got me to name you 5 women's basketball coaches right here now on the spot, I know Pat Summitt's not with us anymore. The guy at UConn's one of
that doesn't count. You got to know his name. Dude with vertigo, guy from UConn,
Auburn had a women's coach with 3 names. I remember that one time. Joe Champy.
Okay, it's 2. Coach. Officially 2.
I don't think I could do it. And I'm just being honest.
Oh, Rick Moody. Come on, you're not even thinking. You used to bring up Rick Moody, everyone.
Rick Moody. How could I forget?
Shanda Rigby.
Based on the few women's games that I've seen on SEC Network involving Alabama, there looked to be about 40 people in the stands. So,
why should I care? Again, I love it. I do love it. I'm sitting here. John's getting on every nerve I've got, and it's only in the first 15 minutes. This is how you judge quality. This is how you judge substance. Is how many people are watching you.
I mean, they're filling it up in Columbia, South Carolina.
I don't feel bad at all, only watching 15 seconds of a women's basketball game. After all, nobody else is.
Got the coach's name on the court up in Knoxville.
Yeah.
But in T-Town, it's crickets. So, I mean.
They will call it this year when they have all these funsy little promotional social media bits.
Yeah,
they're going to say, buy your tickets for Alabama women's basketball 26-27. Come to the Love Shack.
Yeah.
Pauline Love.
What does a women's basketball ticket cost? I mean,
man,
let's go to the game tonight. How much you going to set me back?
On that's got to be the end of our first segment, as John has asked 4 unanswerable questions immediately.
But that's why people think.
I hate saying I don't know. I love finding out the answers to stuff. But if you don't watch out, John will send you chasing your tail, wild goose chase, all that. All right. So during the break, is the expectation that I'm going to find out who the coach was at Auburn when they beat Pacific?
Oh, I know it was Terry Bowden.
It had to be Pat Dye.
I'm thinking Terry Bowden.
But
I really don't care, Barry, what the cost of a women's basketball ticket is. So don't do that.
Okay.
You got more important things to do. Don't worry about that one.
I don't think this is all off the top of the head. Come on.
But I think that's the case. They don't spend any money. I didn't see any reports of what they're paying her. Just go out there and give it your best shot. We'll reevaluate.
Don't embarrass the program.
Yeah, that's right.
By losing too much.
That's right.
So we are underway. Coming up a little bit later on, and I mean just a little bit, it's Jason Caldwell from AuburnUndercover.com. A little bit later on, it's Rodney Day. Brought to you by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. It's Rodney Orr from TiderInsider.com. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
The Montgomery Regional Airport is getting better the more you use it. MGM offers multiple nonstop daily flights to Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas-Fort Worth, and Washington's Reagan National Airport via Delta and American Airlines. And beginning this April, MGM will offer daily nonstop flights to Houston's Intercontinental Airport via United Airlines. All of these cities offer easy connections to destinations all over the country and all over the world. Make travel more cost-effective and less stressful when you utilize your Montgomery Regional Airport. MGM, you can get there from here.
Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry is an Alabama-based, family-owned and operated business that specializes in dry cleaning and laundry serving the river region since 1941. There are 12 convenient locations across the river region. Find one close to you or call 481-1911 for free pickup and delivery. For 83 years, Central Alabama has trusted Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry. You should too.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you're with us here today on this Thursday. Longshore McKnight, Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover in about 10 minutes. Looking forward to Jason's segment here with us as he does each and every week. Hey, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Tell all your friends, all your associates, all your neighbors, all your church friends, even your enemies for that matter. Just tell them about it. Hit Longshore McKnight in the search bar of YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, Spotify, Apple Tunes, whatever it's called these days, and you can check us out. You can view, you can listen at your convenience. We're live from 7 to 9 every morning, but we see so many people that watch and listen to this program on their schedule, and that's the beauty of it. You do it when you want to view and listen. And a lot of people do it live. We really appreciate it. Obviously, Barry, the River Region Straw chat line is always hopping. We appreciate that. But check it out, and of course, you can check it out at yellowhammernews.com. and yellowhammernews.com on their Facebook page. So a lot of people do that. We appreciate that. So spread the word. We appreciate it. We see the numbers growing, and we could not do it without you.
The NCAA Final Four, which is still a thing. It's a big deal.
Yep.
That is coming up this weekend. And a couple of things to sort of watch out for in the NCAA Final Four. Of course, it gets underway on Saturday with a 5:09 start time.
Ooh.
On TBS, Illinois versus UConn, and then Michigan and Arizona Saturday at 7:54. 7:54. I don't know why. I don't know what the deal is, but that's the deal.
There again, they're letting you know you better have your wager locked and loaded by 19 minutes past the hour, or
9 minutes past
9 minutes past the hour. No excuses. And I think that's, TV driven. They got to have their little, their little pregame and whatever, and a little feature about some player who, had asthma as a child, and now look at him today, those type of things, those feel-good stories.
It's a little bit different because, so much of the pregame and halftime NCAA tournament programming is now more than ever thoroughly based upon inside the NBA, with Shaq and used to be Ernie Johnson and Kenny Smith and whoever and all that. That's what it totally looks like now. I guess it's because it's been successful, but they are absolutely bogarting off of all that. But what the difference is kind of like what I can kind of empathize, is they got this thing timed down to the minute. Guys, we have got to be out by 5:08 so we can hit the big song, and you can tip off at 5:09, and we can send it to Ian Eagle and Grant Hill and Bill Raftery and all that. But you got Charles Barkley. And for anybody who doesn't realize, I've never been on that set, but I've been on plenty of television sets, and so does John. You've got usually a producer, somebody who's behind the scenes. The director, the technical director are in this box with all the TVs and stuff. And you got some guy out there on the floor who is kind of running things. Okay, we're on in 3, 2, 1, all that kind of stuff. That guy. And he's the one that Charles Barkley ignores. That guy is saying, okay, we're out in 2015, and Charles is still talking. Believe me, I've worked with a guy like that before. What, time? Forget time. Time is when I'm done talking. That's when we're out of time.
Yeah.
That's what Charles has got to do. They're saying, we have got to get to the court at 5:09. 5:09, people. Do you remember? Everybody says, yeah. Right. 3 of them take him seriously. Charles is like, what are they going to do? Fire me and all this kind. So he's sitting there talking about illegal immigration, or, talking about, dinner he had last night, or some of the college players who he probably never has heard of before. And they're sitting there going, come on. All right, we're a minute and a half over. The entire 18,000 seat arena is waiting for Charles to get done talking. or get done arguing with Bruce Pearl or whatever. And so they have that.
I wonder if he years ago
works out.
Was dragging on and the producers were telling him to wrap it up, and he was finishing up a story of a guy that yelled his name from across the street as he came out of the dry cleaners on 55th in Manhattan and went over there and said, "Hey, Chuck, War Eagle, let's get a picture." Not knowing one bit that it pained that person to the extreme to say War Eagle, but he knew he had to get Charles's attention, and he got a photo op out of it.
And he's telling the story thinking, that guy thinks he got over on me. He was terrible. I knew he wasn't an Auburn fan. You can just tell by looking at him, that kind of a thing. That was a real thing. And I would have doubted it. I did doubt it sincerely until John produced the picture out there. But the more you kind of hear and read things, I feel confident in saying this. If Nate Oates leaves Alabama, it ain't going to be to North Carolina. That's not
okay.
That'd be smart for North Carolina because Oates is a really, really good coach. But the more I'm hearing is that Arizona coach Tommy Lloyd is not getting along with his athletic director. And he is fantastic. I mean, you talk to other coaches around the country. Hey, who's a guy you really like as a coach? Most of them will say Tommy Lloyd at Arizona. He's a terrific coach, great recruiter. The players love him and all that stuff, and he's relatively young. If it's not Billy Donovan from the Bulls, I think it'll be Tommy Lloyd. And who knows? That may cost him a little distraction. He's insisting he's not distracted. The athletic director at Arizona used to be the AD at Missouri, used to be the AD at UNLV. Her name is Desiree Francois somebody. And
this was pre-Greg Byrne. He was the athletic director at Arizona at one point.
This is post-Greg Byrne. She's the athletic director now.
Okay.
And the rumors keep persisting that he wants a lot more support for basketball than she is willing to give or able to give or something like that. And so they're fighting a little bit. He's not all that happy. They're winning all these games. I don't know that they beat Michigan anyway. It's a shame that game's not for the national championship because I think those are the two best teams. But if I'm guessing right now, and if they go with a college coach, even if they're including Billy Donovan from the NBA, I think that they should go with Tommy Lloyd out there. Now, if they do go with Billy Donovan, and I don't think they will, I don't think they should. And I'm a big Billy Donovan fan. Used to coach the Gators. You know who would make sense to be the head coach of the Chicago Bulls?
Stephen Pearl?
No.
Oh. I mean, if he wins the NIT, he's going to be high on everybody's list.
No. That's not true. That's not 1 year in, a little losing streak. I'm not sure he's a hot commodity right now.
What?
But, so that's kind of the lay of the land, sort of what's at stake.
So reading between the lines here, ladies and gentlemen, I believe Barry is insinuating, hey, Nate Oates would be a great choice for the Chicago Bulls. Is that what I'm hearing here?
I think he would be a better choice for the Chicago Bulls than he would for the North Carolina Tar Heels.
He's probably got better players in Chapel Hill than they do in Chicago, based on what I've seen out of the Bulls lately.
Yep, that's exactly right. So that's just a little bit of what's going on kind of behind the scenes at the NCAA tournament. The other aspect of the NCAA Final Four is that,
and I don't know if you noticed this, Barry, I thought this was interesting. Speaking of the Final Four, both games, the favorite is a 1.5-point favorite. Illinois is 1.5-point favorite over UConn, a 3 over a 2. Michigan is a 1.5-point favorite over Arizona, 2 number ones.
I would go. I think UConn's going to win it, and I do think Michigan's going to win. I love Arizona, love them.
Yeah,
but Michigan is like the closest thing to a basketball joyless murder ball that I have seen since the phrase joyless murder ball was fully coined. When we come back, Jason Caldwell joins us, auburnundercover.com, to take a look at what's happening on the plains.
Yep.
He joins us next as we roll on with this edition of Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
At Dixie Overhead Door, we specialize in top-quality garage door solutions for homes across Alabama and Georgia. In need of a garage door repair or a brand new garage door installation, our expert team delivers fast, reliable service with local expertise that you can trust, providing customized solutions and exceptional care every step of the way. Visit us today at DixieOverheadDoor.com and experience the Dixie difference.
Grab a Budweiser and take a knee. It is the best time of the year. It's baseball season. That means sunshine. It means behind-the-back peanut tosses. And it means sharing some cold, frosty Budweisers with your boys. Because there's nothing more American than watching America's game with America's beer. So let me ask you something. Are you ready to bring your A game? Are you ready to cheer every frozen rope down the line and amazing catch at the warning track? Are you ready for pitchers' duels and slugfests? Tell me, are you ready for the thrill of an incredible walk-off victory? I can't hear you. Are you ready for Budweiser and baseball? Then get on your feet, raise an ice-cold Bud, and let's make this season larger than life. Great times are waiting. Get some Bud!
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Get Truck Month deals on more than trucks at Stivers Ford of Montgomery. Explorers for 13 grand off. Broncos 12 grand off. Expeditions 10 grand off. And Bronco Sports 9 grand off.
Stivers Ford, where price sells Fords.
Ford's Truck Month is bigger and better at Stivers Ford of Montgomery. Take advantage of 0% APR on Super Duties, Lightnings, and F-150s. F-150s, 18 grand off. Super Duties, 2 grand under invoice. And Lightning, 16 grand off.
Stivers Ford, where price sells Fords.
Okay, 28 minutes to the top of the hour on this Thursday, Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And our friend Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover, hopping on with us as he does each and every Thursday. Jason, hope you're doing well.
Good, guys. How about y'all?
I'm doing fine, doing fine. The men's basketball team is at Hinkle Fieldhouse getting ready for the Final Four of the NIT, and they're taking it extremely seriously. They're playing. They got the uniforms on. Why not give it their best? There's value in this game, in this Final Four, right, Jason?
Yeah, I think when you look at it, I mean, as Stephen Pearl said earlier, and he's exactly right. I think, anytime you play, you want to win. And so, listen, is it different than it used to be with roster and with all the things you do? Absolutely it is. It's very different. But you also look and go, look, can you hold on to a few guys and kind of use this maybe as a springboard a little bit? I think we're past that point in football where you think about bowl games and doing those things. But, I mean, you look and, it wasn't the same tournament, but look at Nebraska last year and they go win the Crown tournament or whatever, and it gives them a little confidence and a little momentum heading into a new year. So, people question, was it the right move? And look, if you had lost to South Alabama in round one at home, it would not have been the right move. Once you got past that game, it was, to me, it was all gravy then to see what happened. And look, now you got to go chance to go, play and have you won't be an NCAA tournament type crowd. It's going to be like a home game for Illinois State, but it's going to be a different feeling at a venue. So I think it's something that you can learn from. And I've said all along, I thought it was great for Stephen Pearl as a coach to go, hey, look, go coach your team in postseason basketball. Any of those opportunities you can get, I think, are a plus.
Jason, not to skip ahead, but we've already kind of touched on it a little bit here this morning. Reading and hearing a lot about a player that will be on this team next year that's currently in France. Yeah,
he signed Goy, a big 7-footer, and you look at him in athletic, obviously long arm. He's not the guy that you think about when you normally think of guys, in that he's not rail thin. He's got some size to him. And this is, obviously an older guy that, listen, the rules are very different when it comes to guys playing, because it's considered professional basketball over there because they don't really have college basketball. So it's a little bit different. It's not like he's been playing against NBA guys. But, this guy that comes in, and it looks to me like more of a Walker Kessler type fit than a Janai Broome type fit or something, because I don't think this is the guy that's going to be handling the ball on the perimeter, shooting threes, doing stuff.
Right.
I think it's probably more pick and roll game, do some of those things that they did a few years back. But listen, it's a step that you needed to take. You got to have size and help inside for next year, and so you got one of those guys on the way.
Who do you think, having seen them play, having considered it all, who do you think has really helped themselves, particularly, has really advanced because of the NIT on this squad?
Yeah, I think just in general, when you look at getting a chance for Philip Jovic and Sebastian Williams-Adams, Elijah Freeman especially, guys that had not had playing time at this level before. Any games you get, and now when you've asked more of them because you don't have Keyshawn Murphy, especially, like, you've had to expand roles a little bit, and I think it's been good for them. Look, Sway and Jovic are both having to play the 5 and the 4, and now you look and go, look, if you can get those two guys back and Freeman and maybe Kevin Overton to have a building block group to work with for next year, then that would be huge, because I think, look, you've learned some things about those guys, and I think for them now, they've probably learned a lot about themselves too, going, okay, what is it going to take at this level to succeed? Because you think and then when you're in your first year, you realize I don't really know what it takes to be successful here, because it's a lot more physical and a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be.
Jason, on the football side, we continue to hear a lot of positive buzz. There seems to be a lot of enthusiasm and excitement. Certainly a lot of new faces on this Auburn football team, but certainly things seem to be headed in the right direction.
Yeah, last Saturday they had over 200 former players in attendance, and I was like, that's who I want to talk to. I want to talk to those guys to go get their take, because look, they've been at practices for the last 8-10 years. But then I talked to guys Saturday, said, look, it was different. Like, Jarris McIntyre's back. They got a chance to have a luncheon. And basically, Alex Golis told them, look, anytime you want to come. It's not just, hey, we'll invite you a couple times a year, let you come watch practice. Anytime you want to come. And I think that was a big deal for them. But then talk to some guys that older guys that played, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and you start talking to them about what it felt like. And I think for them, it had a little bit of old school feel on the practice field, the way things went, the intensity, some of those things. So that's probably it. Like, somebody asked me recently, said, what position group was I the most concerned about? I said, it was March 30th or whatever that. I was like, it's March 30th. I'm not concerned about it. It's way too early to be concerned about that, because they're not even halfway through spring at that point. You haven't even scrimmaged yet, and there's a long, long way to go before you have to play a football game. And so that's probably it for me. It's just, you just kind of go watch it, take it in, see the new guys and the new bodies running around and what they look like physically. That's pretty much all you can take away from it right now for me.
What's the takeaway, in deference to people throughout Tuscaloosa County elbowing each other and pointing, of the Iron Bowl segment of practice, Jason?
I think it's something that coaches do a lot of to get used to it. Going, hey, look, this is what you focus on. I mean, Michigan, Ohio State have those moments for each other in practice sessions, and always have done kind of those things. And so I think it's just a way to add a little intensity and to kind of get a focus in the middle of practice, because it happened about the middle of practice when we were there. So I get everybody's attention. Here you go. And it's always a reminder. So I mean, it's not a big, it's 5 minutes of a practice day in the spring. So not a big deal, other than, you turn up music really loud and get guys to realize, okay, this is a different type of moment here in practice.
You were there on Tuesday when Auburn baseball went to Georgia Tech. other than the takeaway that Georgia Tech is really pretty doggone good, what's your takeaway from the Run Rule defeat and a state of the program synopsis before they get ready to host Arkansas?
Yeah, it's really interesting because you look and go, people, and yeah, I mean, look, it's not ideal to be playing the way they're playing, but baseball is such a different sport than even basketball, but obviously very different than football.
Right.
In that you look like it's a long time to the end of this season. And Butch Thompson is famously likes to say, look, you're not allowed to be sad until the season's over with. And in football, you can get sad after you lose. You lose 3 or 4 games in a row in football, the season's over with. And nowadays, especially, it's over.
Right.
In baseball, that's not the case. So he mentioned it, and I went back and looked. They're exactly in the same spot they were last year. I mean, exactly. They were 4-2 to start the season in SEC play, went to Georgia, got swept. Exactly the same spot they were a year ago. And that team hosted a super regional and was a couple of pitches away against a really good Coastal Carolina team from making the College World Series. And so that's my takeaway right now is, look, they may not get there in terms of what the potential is for this team. But outside of a couple of weekends, they have not played, at least offensively, anything close to what they can do. And they're 20-8. Like they haven't swung the bat well at all outside of Arlington, Texas, and against Nebraska. Can you find a couple of hits and scratch cost a couple of runs and just build some confidence? You do that, I think this team is got every opportunity to go play a long way once again this season. But got to start swinging the bats because if you don't do that, then it becomes really hard to win. This is not it's not baseball in 1975 anymore. You don't win many 3-2 games in this league, college baseball.
Jason, I think this is a subject we're going to touch on a lot more, and I wish we weren't actually, but I just don't see anything progressing. I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm talking about the state of college athletics in which we're living in today. Of course, there was a big meeting at the White House a couple of weeks ago, and a big group of folks came up there and met with the president to try to come up with some ideas and a game plan to get college athletics maybe back on the beam. I don't see any progress. There again, more talk, no action. Do you think of it? Do you think any differently? Do you think we're still headed down the same road we've been on?
Yeah, I just don't see how anything's going to get done until they're going to have a a time and place where they become employees. Until then, it's not going to change because they don't want to change. And listen, college athletes have it better than anybody in this country just about right now, in my opinion, especially at major schools. I mean, look, they're not going to give it up because like they got it all. I mean, listen, they get free meals a day, food, shelter, clothing,
medical care,
everything they get. Yeah. You want a massage? Hey, come get a massage. How much is that? Nothing. And they're also getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
They're not going to give that up unless somebody says, look, this is the way it's going to happen. So they're going to have to become employees because we're not going backwards. We're not going back to the good old days is what people think. Like it's not happening. There's only one step for me which is it becomes a collective bargaining agreement and you start to have some structure because right now, look, if you're a football player at Auburn or Alabama or these, I mean, I can't imagine what it's like at Texas Tech right now in Texas and Texas A&M. But listen, I know what it's like at Auburn, where you get meals and obviously you're not paying for your housing and you're getting some payment money to do it. As I said a long time ago when this thing first started, and it hits home with me more every day, is that people think, well, how much is that guy getting paid? And it doesn't have to be $1 million. Just go. I mean. So somebody gets paid, okay, how much? $50,000 a year. And somebody goes, well, that's nothing.
Yeah.
Imagine if somebody gave you $50,000 and said, okay, you don't have to spend a dime of this. You're at the end of the year, if you don't buy anything extravagant, you still got $50,000 to play with.
You're doing all right. Yes.
That'd be a pretty good year. Much less 250 or $1 million.
Yeah.
$1 million with no bills to pay that's a hefty sum of money. And
I would say so.
I haven't really thought of it that way, but boy, when you lay it out like that,
I know. I hate. I don't want to do it to myself, but every time I think about it, I'm going, man. I've been fortunate to do this a long time, and I've been able to provide for my family and do those things. But I was like, it sure would be nice to have $4,000 or $5,000 extra at the end of each month to do whatever I wanted to do with.
Am I right? Am I wrong? Has my perspective changed too much? Does it feel to you like the quality of the recruit that is officially visiting the Auburn football program, or heck, unofficially visiting the Auburn, has risen a little bit under Alex Golesh? Because there's some really good, highly thought of guys that are in.
Yeah, no, they're doing a good job. Now, I don't know if it's raised. I mean, the Hugh Freeze and them, they recruited really well, and they got some really good players on campus. The problem was that they just didn't take the next step with them. And so now you look, and a lot of those guys are gone. You've replaced a lot of them. But I do think they're doing a good job of getting guys on campus. And I told a couple of the guys that haven't been at Auburn before, I said, you're doing the most important thing you can do, because Auburn is a place that has and always will recruit itself when you get people on campus. And so you get guys back, and listen, we just talked about it. We know there's another segment to this nowadays. Like, it's not just getting them on campus and them liking who you are. That's not enough anymore. But if you don't have that part, I don't know that the money matters in the end, because it still has to be a place you're comfortable with, I would think, for most guys, not for all of them. For some of these guys now, it's going to be who pays me the most money. And I may not even have to visit that place. I'll just go there anyway. But I think for a large portion of these guys, they still have to have a comfort level. And then maybe monetarily it makes a difference. And so I think they're doing a good job of getting their foot in the door with some really good players.
Yeah, and I'm with you there. It's interesting. I think people see, though, that, some of these guys over the last 4 or 5 years that have transferred multiple times, I kind of wonder about those guys. Have they really been on campus? Do they know what they're getting into? Or is it just, you're paying me how much? Oh, okay, I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason why you see guys leave so quickly, because they're like, listen, I never was that, or that wasn't where I want to go to begin with. I think you see that sometimes where somebody might say, hey, here's where you need to go. They're giving you the most money. When in reality, when somebody says, well, in my heart, that's not where I want to go. That's the unfortunate part of this world now. Of one of many unfortunate parts is that you get agents involved, you get people involved. And listen, I've heard stories of, look, they're not even letting kids talk to coaches. The agents handle all the negotiations, especially the transfer part of these things, where they're like, nope, hey, I'll handle it all. I don't want you to answer phone calls and don't talk to coaches. So like, well, that's set up for failure, because personality, all the things that you need to know from both sides of this thing have been taken out of it in some instances. And that's why we see guys moving around and you're bouncing here, because you're never happy. As we know throughout this world and throughout history, money does not equate happiness. And we see it every day.
Do you see it, Jason, that maybe coaches are not coaching as hard as they did? And back when Coach died, Coach Bryant, all those guys, that was a different day and age. I get it. But are they walking on eggshells thinking, well, I can't be too tough on this guy, because if I am, he'll leave?
I think some of them do. And I think because of that, I think you might end up losing more guys, because I just don't think I don't think this works unless you coach guys hard. I just don't think it does. Just look, we like to point to Indiana. That does not look like a guy to me that takes it easy on players if they don't do what they're supposed to do. It just doesn't. But look at, and listen, he's not my favorite guy, but do you think Danny Hurley takes it easy on his basketball guys? I don't think he does.
I don't either.
Doesn't seem that way to me anyway. But look, you can do it different ways and be successful. But I do think that you have to demand what you demand in your program. And I think it's one of the things, listen, people talking about, we can go back to Auburn basketball a little bit. Stephen Pearl, he's not going to compromise on what he believes in as a coach. It's what his dad did, how he's going to coach guys hard. You just have to find the right guys that are willing to do that and are willing to be. That's where the relationship part of things comes in. That's why, you're talking about portal. It's really difficult, because you only have, instead of 24 months that you're recruiting somebody, you might have 24 hours. 24 months, you can learn a lot about a player. 24 hours, does he fit what we're doing in the system? Hey, sounded pretty good on the phone. All right. Well, you want to commit? Okay. Because you don't have the second option. Like once your window's done, it's on to the next team. And so I think that's the hard part of the portal is finding the right guy, the right fit. That's why keeping a guy second year in the portal instead of having 1 year guys is vitally important, because then the second year they know what you expect. You know what to expect from them, and it makes a big difference.
I don't disagree one bit. That's good stuff. Jason Caldwell, you see on the scroll underneath him on social media, Twitter at ITAT Jason. What about getting the content that you and your colleagues provide on the website?
Yeah. Be locked in tonight because it's going to be a really, really busy night. Baseball at 6 o'clock because of Easter weekend. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week, and so if you're listening, I'll be with Brad Law on the call because Andy and basketball. So have Auburn, Arkansas baseball at 6. Right behind us at 7 o'clock will be the first scrimmage of the spring for Auburn football at Jordan-Hare Stadium. So at the same time, they're going to be scrimmaging an hour later. Then basketball's at 8:30 tonight in Indianapolis. So 6, 7, 8:30, it'll all finish pretty close to the same time, I would imagine. So it's going to be a helter-skelter. So auburnundercover.com, have all the information there. Come check us out and find us on all those social media platforms. So.
Excellent stuff, Jason. Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
You too, buddy. Thank you so much, Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover. Great insight and analysis as always. Appreciate his time from Auburn Undercover. Check out his work, man. He is going to be busy. Woo! Baseball, football scrimmage, little basketball. Man, the trifecta tonight.
Scrimmage at 7 o'clock, football scrimmage at 7 o'clock at night. Too many people. I mean, it'll be dark. People can sneak in. They can pretend like they're wetting the goalpost. That's, I don't know. Inside the stadium?
You know my thoughts about watching practice. I've never been a big fan.
You never
or practice for that matter.
I was about to say, when John was wearing practice gear and standing on the sidelines watching practice, he didn't like that then either. I'm not a big practice guy. Hey, let's go to practice. I like being out there. I like talking to the fellas, but anybody who says, I was at practice and I noticed that he's a little bit quick on that read of the rush end. And I thought, I think the RPO pitch that he gives to the running back, he needs to wait. I'm not that guy.
No.
At all. But I'm
me
looking, hey, that guy looks good. That guy looks slow. And you sit there and you talk to like the quarterback while they're sitting there running drills and stuff like that.
One of my favorite lines.
Stuff like that.
And, obviously it's not scientific. It's not perfect, but it's kind of like the eye test. I'll always like the line, that kid looks good getting off the bus.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, I better keep my eye on him.
There is a book that I've got back here. I don't feel comfortable saying the name of it publicly, but it's by Joe Buck, and it's called Lucky B Word, and it's pretty good. I like Joe Buck, and I could have reached out and hugged him. I've met him once before. It was many years ago. I could have reached out and hugged him because he admitted, when I was at the when I was at Fox, they always spent a lot of time making sure that me and Aikman had time at practice. Hey, practice so-and-so, come on out. You can talk with the coach and all that. He said, I never got anything out of that. And like I said, I like if there's a good story, Troy's had a couple of good coaches. Chip Lindsey was good about this. Sumrall and Coach Parker are great with this. Hey, watch this kid. We really like him. Tell me what you think. And I don't know, or they'll tell a story about somebody. Yeah, this kid, he came to us from Germany. And he was at one of our camps, and he's been, knocking people around left and right. I get a lot out of that. But if you expect me or John to come to practice and, if there's no distraction like Philip Marshall on an exercise bike or something like that, and you expect John to say, on the show the next day to say, yeah, we were at Alabama football practice or Auburn football practice, and I really didn't like the way the second team offense's tempo went. I thought the receivers were late getting out of their breaks. No, that's Bob from Pike Road Country. For me and John, I don't get that stuff. I don't, I understand football. I understand what's going on the football field, but expect me to look at a bunch of guys in the middle of practice and say that left tackle's footwork is off.
Well,
that ain't us. Don't expect
that afternoon, however many years ago it was, that we watched Auburn practice when Tuberville was the coach, I believe. And the two things that I brought away from it were Philip Marshall on the exercise bike and the kid that Tuberville sent to the end of the field to get a leaf off of a tree and run back because the kid was loafing.
Curtis Lee.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was not just the end of the field. We were on the intramural fields. So we had to go, like past 2.5 football fields down there. And he was already dead tired. He wasn't going too fast.
No, he was kind of half-assing it, actually, is the way I thought. And, kind of like that when I was at that A-Day scrimmage as a guest coach that year, besides Tyler Love holding, the thing that I remember the most about it was Kirby Smart just peeling the paint off the wall in the locker room. And I'm thinking,
at halftime,
are they about to go play Tennessee? What's going on here?
Yeah. John was like, whoa.
Yeah. I mean, this is just a practice. What happens during a real game?
I mean, John has been out there as a participant in interfraternity basketball. He's heard profanity before, believe me.
Yeah.
But Kirby, woo.
What are you talking about? Intramural? Heck, church basketball. You kidding me?
Woo. So we get something. I mean, I do have value at going out to practice. I go basketball practice all the time because indoors it's not hot. But when they're talking about hard hedging and closeouts and, you need to dig on this pass and stuff, I know what they're talking about. But like during a game, I realize, and John realizes, that I'm not going to sit there and say, look, they're hard hedging the middle third of the bit. They're trying to take away, the entry pass to the 4, or whatever, because I know most of the people listening are not.
Barry,
that's why John and I are watching a TV game. Who is it that does this the most? It happens a lot in the NFL.
Yeah.
Look, they're playing press man on defense, and if they can get leverage on the will, people don't know what you're saying. So why broadcast like that?
But if I hear that type of conversation on a sports talk radio program, I'm changing the channel. I don't care. I don't want to know about a swim move. I don't want to know about a jet sweep. I don't want to know about the nickel and dime package.
The smoke draw.
Don't want to know it.
Stan was big on the smoke draw. The
sugar huddle. Sugar huddle. Don't forget about that one. What was the deal with what was that about? What did that mean? Sugar huddle.
That's the huddle. They call it a lot of different things. They call it the sugar huddle. They call it the muddle huddle, where you get into a real quick huddle right at the line of scrimmage and you break the huddle and you run to your position real fast so they can't really take a look at the personnel, and then you try to snap it while they're scrambling around and everything. Oh. No idea why they call it the sugar huddle. Is that another one of
those Malzahn gimmicks?
No.
Gimmick?
He wouldn't huddle at all. That was the best thing about it. Now, this is probably a fair statement from Plainsman Preston, who's been sleeping in this morning. I wouldn't bring up the second word of the Joe Buck autobiography, but John's talking about Curtis Lee, who's probably 42 with 3 kids now, the former Auburn running back. Half effort.
The standing rule, Theotis, over the years used to be, like in that term, where that is a donkey is known as a ass, I believe. I've heard before. If it is a medical term, we have let that slide. So just think of it that way.
Yeah.
There's some medical terms I could go without, but that's probably a good borderline. I mean, the F word is not a medical term, at least
it is
my knowledge.
No, it is not.
There's a medical term that I guess is similar, but we don't want,
No.
you to go that far.
And that F word was used every third word by Kirby Smart in the halftime locker room of the A-Day game, which doesn't make it right when we come back.
No, it doesn't. No.
Rodney Orr, who's bleeping unbelievable, brought to you by the Destin Connection Seafood Market from TigerInsider.com, joins us to start off hour number 2 of the live show. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com. The Destin Connection Seafood Market at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery has the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of America. I'm talking red snapper and grouper, all sizes of Gulf shrimp, jumbo lump crab meat, and crab claws, Louisiana Bay oysters, and New Bedford scallops. They are a full-service seafood market and kitchen serving po' boys, dinners, and sandwiches. Many well-known restaurants in the river region purchase their seafood from the Destin Connection because they know it's the absolute best. Call ahead and your order will be ready for pickup. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call 288-4272. That's 288-4272. Couple of minutes past the top of the hour. Glad you're with us, Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. So glad you are with us here today. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You'll get the instant notifications. You'll never miss anything like our next guest, Rodney Orr, the Tiger Insider, brought to you exclusively by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Hey, Easter weekend is upon us. If you've got friends and family coming over, some fresh boiled shrimp would be a nice little appetizer with some of that homemade cocktail sauce that David and that staff prepare, or any seafood item that you may need for any of your holiday cooking. Destin Connection, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. They can take care of it for you. Hey, Rodney, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you guys?
Doing well. Before we really dive into football, take a long, broad, wide look at the season that Nate Oates and the Alabama basketball team had. What's your takeaways?
Yeah, I think, they had a lot of kind of adversity, injuries throughout the season. There were some ups and downs, obviously, until, and then they lost that Florida game. They got blown out, as you remember. But I thought, the way they kind of rebounded from that was really impressive. I thought this team's ceiling was the Sweet 16 because, I felt like that their shortcomings were going up against some of these big physical teams like Michigan. We saw it with Florida. You guys realize, and I know you know this, Alabama's lost 10 of its last 11 to Florida and Tennessee. So it's kind of, I think it's a style thing. It's a bad matchup. And we felt like that eventually they would meet one of those matchups, and they did in Michigan. And, of course, Michigan's a powerhouse, obviously. But I thought Nate Oates got as much out of this team as he could.
I'll agree with that, Rodney. I'm with you. I kind of felt all along that when they got further into the tournament, got up against teams like a Michigan, as you mentioned, big, physical, down low, taller players, that was going to be an issue. And you got to think Nate Oates realizes that. I mean, we know run and gun, shoot the three, but he's got to have some help down low. And I would think that would be a priority in the offseason to try to find some bigger people to play down around the paint.
No doubt. I mean, I think, again, I've seen it on Tiger Insider. People say that, Oates isn't going to change, but I do think he mentioned it actually. that he realized there were some things they were going to have to change. And I think that's one of the things on his mind is he knows he's got to get bigger. He's got to get stronger. He's got to get more presence down low, as you mentioned. And I think so it's going to be interesting to see how they do that. They're going to certainly try to address it in the portal, I think. And it's a real challenge because, when you're trying to get guys that fit that bill, I mean, sometimes it costs a lot of money. And some basketball programs obviously are going to spend a ton to do what it takes. So it'll be interesting to see how Nate Oates handles that.
Rodney, with last week's first Alabama scrimmage in the books, we've always trusted you to, even though it's pretty much locked up tight as a drum, to be able to glean, to be able to harvest some thoughts from people about what was impressive or not behind the scenes. What are you hearing about the takeaways from the first scrimmage last week?
Well, let me preface this, my comments with this, because anytime I post something positive on Tighter Insider, they're like, yeah. I just want to see the results. I'm tired of the talk. I'm tired of the hype, yada, yada, yada. So all I can really do is pass along what we hear, what we see. So with that said, and again, speaking to people who played the game, or played in the NFL, have a lot of experience, have a good idea what they're looking at, I think that the positives would be that people are really impressed with the two quarterbacks, Austin Mack and Keelan Russell. Both have had fantastic springs. They look good. Who's ahead? I really don't know. The word is no separation or not much separation. Maybe Austin Mack again because of his time in the system has a little better understanding. I think on the offensive line, that's the big question. That is a big question. And again, relying on sources here, they like what they've seen so far. I think they feel like there is a mentality there now under Adrian Clem, the new offensive line coach, more physical. There's been a real commitment that they've seen in the run game here over the course of spring. So I know that's really got people kind of cautiously optimistic. Now, one thing I have heard about Adrian Clem, and I had a former Alabama player text me this yesterday. He said, I really like what I've seen from Adrian Clem. He said the things we hear from practice, he hurts their feelings every day. I mean, and that he's, so anyway, I think he's made a strong early impression. I haven't heard as much quite about the defense, right now, but it does sound like that the offense had a nice scrimmage in scrimmage one last Friday, and Ryan Williams had a big day. So, sounds like everything's positive. But again, guys, like you said, it's been a real quiet spring.
Rodney, I'm sure you get this feedback as we do from time to time. Kalen DeBoer won't make it past his third year. Vegas has the over-under win total at 8.5. This team's got to at least win 10. They got to make the playoff, whatever. You hear it every year. And, of course, my response back to him is, well, then who are you going to hire? Because Kirby Smart's not coming. Kurt Cignetti's not coming. Who are you going to hire that's better than what you've currently got in Tuscaloosa right now? And I get it. There's a lot of pressure. Year 3, can't have these bad losses, these blowout losses. You got to get that straightened out. But to me, that is just a lot of nonsense. People going, got to fire DeBoer, and have no clue who they're going to bring in to replace him.
Well, they tell me Nick Saban's tan, rested, and ready, John.
Woo, don't even kid about that. Woo.
I think he's got too many Mercedes dealerships he's dealing with.
Yeah, he's dealing with cars, not players. Again, I mean, look, I think that here's one thing I've learned, and that is that you kind of have to let it play out. And what I mean by that is, let's see what happens next year. I think Alabama has a chance to be pretty good if they can get these pieces together up front. Now, here's the thing. If they win 8 games, watch the reaction. I'm not predicting anything.
Yeah.
I'm just saying people might say, well, I mean, who are you going to hire or this or that or the other, but just watch the reaction if they only win 8 games next year. It'll be pretty hot. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying DeBoer would be, or I'm not saying he would be fired by any means, but I'm not suggesting that he wouldn't maybe look around and search for a way out. Just don't know, John. You just have to kind of let it play out and see what happens.
Yeah.
But I think if he only wins 8 games, it's going to be pretty hot and heavy.
I totally agree. There is going to be some gnashing of teeth and some unhappiness, and people are going to be kicking and screaming, and Tider Insider will probably melt down because people are having a panic attack. But I always go back to the one thing. Who are you going to hire? I mean, who is out there right now that you think, ooh, man, that's somebody I'm going to keep my eye on, because if things go south, that's where we're heading.
Great
I
coach.
can't think of one guy.
Great coaches are hard to find, obviously. I think the one thing, John, that makes this situation a little different is that people just kind of question the fit. And I've even had people tell me that, okay, I don't care if we win 11, 12 games next year, whatever. I still don't believe long-term this is a fit. So I'm not saying it's not a fit. I'm saying what people kind of, there just seems to be the comfort level in that, is he a fit?
Yeah.
Is just not, it just doesn't, right now, there's a big question mark there. So, I don't know. But, again, it'll play out over time for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Looking at this, and you can update us, the lack of reps for E.J. Crowell at running back because of injury, I suppose. I think he can certainly be a game breaker and a guy who could play a lot as a freshman, but if he's not practicing right now, he's not. Without him, knowing what I've seen from Kevin Riley in the running back room last year and from Daniel Hill, who's consistent, but I'm not sure is a game breaker, I think the real wild card, other than the freshman, will be A.K. Deer. I've heard a lot about him. Am I far off base thinking that if somebody can really come and just grab this running back starting job by the nose, it might be him? Is that a possibility?
Man, he's got a lot of talent. I think AK's got to really mature. I mean, I think if you want to be a bell cow, you've got to be really mature. You've got to be able to understand all of the assignments. And I don't know if AK's there in that regard.
Right.
I think you're right, though, in terms of his just sheer talent, his running ability. It's there. But it's going to be up to AK to kind of, take the bull by the horns and become that guy. I think that, Kevin Riley, you want to talk about consistency. That's the thing with Deer. I think that's the thing that, okay, Hill's probably not flashy. He's probably not a 15 carry guy. He's probably not your primary back in most situations, but the consistency is there with him more so. The consistency is probably there with Kevin Riley more so than it is with AK Deer. So, we'll see. But yes, AK Deer has a ton of talent. And, I did hear this, a little back, they signed out of Texas, Trayshawn Brown. This is freshman that's here. I've heard that he popped a run in this last scrimmage that was pretty impressive. Again, don't know, but his name's come up a couple of times. So I don't know. That's what we've talked about. That's one of the concerns is they do not have an established running back.
Well, yeah, and since Johnny Musso, this team's had a number one bell cow running back every year that I can remember. But it bears question about A.J. Crowell. Do we know what this injury is?
I think it's it's a soft tissue muscle injury, and I think it's in his lower leg that he's been dealing with. Now I did see in the video that we saw of the scrimmage, he did have at least one carry, it looks like.
Yep.
Again, they didn't address that. The board didn't address that, but he did say he would be week to week rather than day to day. So that makes it sound like maybe we won't see much of Crowell the rest of this spring. That was kind of the impression.
Yeah.
Hey, Rodney Orr is brought to you exclusively each and every Thursday by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Easter weekend is upon us. If you got family and friends coming over, go by Destin Connection and get some of that fresh boiled shrimp. They'll cook it up for you, or you can take it home and cook it up yourself. Fresh from the Gulf. It arrives daily, makes a great appetizer as you're getting ready for a great Easter lunch. Or if you need some seafood for your Easter lunch, Destin Connection can certainly take care of that for you. Call ahead. Your order will be ready for pickup, 288-4272. That's 288-4272. They're located there at 3750 Norman Bridge Road. So, Rodney, I understand that some of our operatives in the field possibly maybe could be at a scrimmage tomorrow in Tuscaloosa around 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. It'll be interesting to see what we might hear from what happens in that scrimmage.
Well, that might be the one time, John, this spring, other than A-Day, that we really can gather some information because, like you said, there'll be plenty of people there. I look forward to it. I mean, hearing more about it, hopefully more about the defense, because like I said, this has been a very, very quiet spring. Now, I will say this defensively, it does sound like that they're really excited about the size that they've added with those transfers. Kedrick Bingley Jones on the defensive line, Terrence Green, Devin Tompkins from USC. Those guys have been really impressive, I think, this spring. I think, I had someone tell me the other day that Caleb Woodson at inside linebacker, because this is going to be a real position of concern because of the inexperience. That Caleb Woodson has been an absolute stud this spring. And he's been a leader. So watch out for Caleb Woodson, the transfer from Virginia Tech. Other than that, there's a lot of young players at that position. And I think in the secondary, they're really excited. They've recruited extremely well. There's probably not a team that's recruited better in the secondary than Alabama has. So they're pretty loaded back there. It's just the front group. If they can get those guys, playing on a high level, This defense, I think there's some real optimism that they can be better against the run on the interior because of the size that they've added.
Let's talk a little bit more about the recruiting right now. I know they got a big tight end. It's still relatively early. What's the early returns on the caliber of young men they're getting in, and the guys that they're getting commitments from right now?
Yeah, they've got two tight ends committed, both big, tall kids. They've got quarterback Trent Seaborn committed, who, of course, is a really good player. And, of course, they have a corner, Nash Johnson, committed, again, a corner. So right now, just in doing really well. But now listen, here's the thing. The foundation that they have, with the visitors, they brought in a lot this spring. They're bringing in more. They've got an impressive A-Day list, got a lot of guys. And it does seem that Alabama puts, I'm not going to say more emphasis than most schools, but then a lot of schools on the high school versus the portal. That's kind of their model. So I think they're in position to have a really good recruiting year again in the high school ranks.
A question from our River Region Straw VIP text line, and when I ask this question, Barry, you'll probably guess who it's from. He wants to know, Rodney, do you believe the reports that the offensive line is playing more physical and that they have a dedicated, legitimate running game?
That's what they say. That's what we're hearing, is that, Clem has kind of brought that mentality, Adrian Clem. And, I've heard that, that was some things that were observed in the scrimmage. There was some strong impressions about that. They felt like there seemed to be more of a commitment versus scrimmages they had seen in the past, under, Kalen DeBoer. They felt like that this was something that they had, that really stood out to them. Now, again, who knows, right? I mean, let's see what happens. But yes, I think that if you want to be positive about it right now, that does seem to be one of the positives.
And based on those statistics of the running game last season, I think they could only try
get
to
better.
improve there.
Yeah.
Another question here. Is the quarterback from Louisiana coming to the scrimmage?
Elijah Haven, I'm not sure if he's coming or not. I know he's scheduled for A-Day. These unofficial visits are kind of tricky. But he may be, again, will he pop up? He might. Now, again, keep in mind, this is Easter weekend and it's on Friday. So, kids are going to have some time off. Maybe they've got some free time, whatever, but they want to do that. So Elijah Haven might, I haven't heard for sure, but I do know that he's scheduled for A-Day.
They had a little 3-game baseball series last weekend. I heard it went well for them.
Yeah, I mean, it really did. How about the last 2 series, actually? Florida and then this one with Auburn, number 5 Auburn.
Yep.
Came in here and it was Alabama's really bounced back. Now, here's the thing on the baseball. As well as they seem to be pitching, they're getting clutch hitting, timely hitting, is now they go on the road again, John and Barry. They go to Norman to face OU. And, don't forget, their only SEC road trip, they got swept. So this is at Kentucky. So this will be interesting. And how about Patrick Murphy in softball? We don't mention softball much, but what are they, 33-2 or whatever? And they've really gotten off to a great start. And I think the one thing, John and Barry, that really stands out to me about Murphy, talk about making adjustments. We've been kind of thinking for a few years, you got to get more pop in your lineup, and they've got a little more pop in their lineup. So that's really helped them.
Man. Lots of good stuff. Rodney Orr, TiderInsider.com on a busy part of the calendar. How do people catch everything that you provide and get in on the energetic conversations on the forums, Rodney? How do they do that? What's the first step?
Well, it's TiderInsider.com. It's only $48 a year, and you can get instant access with your credit card. Or if you prefer, there is an address there to send a check, and that gives you all our premium information, which we talked about the offensive line and that stuff yesterday. But also our all sports forum. It's our community there. A lot of discussion about basketball and spring football again has been a little quiet, but we always say this. It never stops on TiderInsider.com.
I mean, even if you want to get some opinions about what other programs are doing, you can certainly read about it on Tider Insider.
Yeah, you sure can. They're very interested in, certain programs for sure.
Yeah. I wonder if there's ever a section in Alabama practice that they call the Iron Bowl.
Oh yeah.
How about that one, Rodney? Yeah,
that was a real
delight.
That was a real topic of discussion, huh?
Yes. I did think it was a good one. I do not want Kalen DeBoer to play Old McDonald in the Hank Crisp indoor facility.
Yeah, I don't think there's a chance of that.
Well, let's see. We've talked about softball. We talked about baseball, men's basketball, football recruiting, and all that, and the obligatory John Digg at the Auburn team. So I guess we've covered it all, Rodney, we appreciate your time. Thanks very much.
Hey, guys, I appreciate it. Y'all take care.
You too, buddy. Have a good Easter. That is Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, joining us here today. Momentarily, within moments, we should get a countdown clock of how long that interview actually did last today.
Check. Dogging the obs from John. Rodney never does it. That's got to be disappointing for some people.
But he does kind of chuckle. You ever notice, though?
He's just being nice, basically. That's a sympathetic chuckle, right? We've got more to come in just a moment. We'll talk a little hoops for sure. Coming up.
It was not very magical last night, Barry. I'll just tease you with that one.
I liked that one too. Yeah. Longshore and McKnight, in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with one of their clinics and take advantage of physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solution services. Get back in the game, get back to work, and get back to life with Phoenix Physical Therapy. To find a location near you and to schedule an appointment, go to phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. That's phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. Pravel Carpet is the most trusted name in flooring in the River region. Ray Bowles and his staff have an extensive line of Mohawk stain-resistant carpeting in all the latest styles and colors. Pravel Carpet also has hardwood, vinyl, and ceramic tile for all of your flooring needs. Professionally installed at the absolute lowest prices. Take advantage of cash and carry vinyl plank at just $239 a foot. Call them today to set up your free measurement for your home, office, lake house, hunting camp, or wherever you need flooring. 285-8117. That's 285-8117, or drop by 2201 Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville for Prattville Carpet. Okay, back at it, everybody. Glad you are with us. If you were wondering, Barry, that was Bob from Pike Road that wanted to know the question about the offensive line at Alabama.
I was not wondering.
Guy.
I was not wondering. I knew immediately who it is, even though Bob always tells us ahead of time. It's odd that Bob would ask that, because Bob always seemed to already know that. So asking Rodney is probably a good way to
maybe reassurance.
Your knowledge.
Reassurance.
Yes.
Well, hey, Ty wants us to know that it's harder to get in school at Auburn than it is Alabama.
Yeah.
Is that true? Is it? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I got into school at Auburn. Can't be that hard. John got into school.
I didn't apply to Auburn. We'll have to admit, I never sent in an application, but
there's a shocker.
Yeah,
he let his sister
know that.
He let his sister do that.
Hey, that and 50 cents will get you a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Well,
I guarantee you right now. And again, it's been a long time since I applied to college. Right now, I mean, I got accepted into Florida. I got a scholarship my freshman year, or my high school senior year, and I got accepted into Auburn later when I trained. I don't know that I could get into either school today. I don't know that, and I was even though both schools are about twice as big as they were whenever I went, I still don't think I can get into either one of them now. I mean, that's
I don't. Maybe I should know a little bit more, because I've got one in Tuscaloosa at the moment. Got two more heading up there next year.
Yeah,
but,
thank goodness.
I never really ask them. Like, hey, what'd you make on your ACT or whatever you got to do? But hey, who knows? Well, Barry, I guess it's time to
speaking of whatever you got to do.
Yeah,
John, there were a lot. I guess of favors that were.
This is true. Our man way offsides, Jeff. This is hard to believe, but 60,000 students applied to Alabama this year.
Yeah,
I do know that because my two were part of that 60,000, and things got a little tighter in Tuscaloosa because I guess they can't accommodate, but so many.
Right.
I mean, there's only so many dorm rooms. There's only so many classrooms. There's only so many professors. I don't know if there's ever been a time when they've had to kind of, just say, look, we're only letting in X amount. We appreciate that we got 60,000.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that happens that's happened every year since the beginning of time. You can't accept everybody.
We can only let X amount in. We appreciate the interest, but man, 60,
you got to turn down people. I mean, some people just don't belong.
How many people applied 42 years ago?
Or actually longer than that now that I think about it, 43 years ago.
Yeah, and when you say 60,000, are you talking about every campus? I mean, are you talking about Huntsville? My next door neighbor, who is awesome, their daughter goes to school at Alabama Huntsville, and she's awesome. Are you talking about
this is just the main campus,
Tuscaloosa campus,
the mother
Wait a minute,
campus,
which also is not clear.
Not
when you say the main campus,
satellite campuses they have around.
Is
talking about Auburn's enrollment? We're not mixing AUM in there with it. We're not doing that. They still call it AUM.
We know.
Or is it Auburn?
I'm turning over a new leaf for April. I'm not answering any more John's top of the head questions. Do we still call it AUM? Who was the coach at Auburn when Pacific?
The thing that bugs me, Barry,
40 years ago. I ain't doing it anymore. I'm done. I'm not taking the bait.
Why are they not the Senators? Why'd they change their name to the Warhawks? I mean, what's wrong with AUM Senators? I don't really never
Maybe
knew what
it was not giving the state representatives.
Crimea River. I mean,
I don't know.
I've never understood the name change there, but that's their little deal. I'll let them deal with it.
This is a thing. Tobias says, fun fact, gentlemen, people in Phoenix have kids who went to college in Alabama despite never stepping foot in the state. Alabama's got a couple. Number one, I do think a lot of it has to do with Saban and the football team. As weird and convoluted as it sounds, it is great publicity for the University of Alabama, with the success of their football program and all of that. I do think that has a lot to do with attendance skyrocketing. Also, you've got these things on maybe Netflix or Paramount Plus, things about Alabama's Greek system, which is crazy. Evidently it is one of the great, most, I don't even know the right word, most lusted after thing in the world to be a young woman in a sorority at the University of Alabama. I mean, you've got Rush coaches, you've got and you've got you've got Netflix series about, girls being in an Alabama sorority and everything. Look, I like the Greek system fine. My sister was in a sorority at the University of Alabama. But holy crud. I mean, across the country, girls are, applying for pageants. They're getting scholarships and stuff. And one of the cool things, evidently, around the country is, well, my daughter, she's in a sorority at Alabama, and all the other, mamas are like, oh, wow.
So Tobias, my oldest daughter, who is 30 now, she had a roommate her sophomore year. You live in Tutwiler your freshman year, then you can go out and live in apartments or condos or whatever. So it was either her sophomore or junior year. One of her roommates, there's like 4 or 5 girls living in a condo or a apartment, whatever.
Yeah.
And one of her roommates was from Arizona. I never forget. I went, wow, how'd you get to Tuscaloosa from wherever in Arizona you were? I wanted to come to school in the South, wanted to be in an SEC school. I've noticed, I've said this before.
She's not a football player.
No.
She's not an athlete. What the heck difference does it? I mean, I went to school at 2 different SEC schools, but those weren't the only schools I went. She wanted to go to an SEC school.
Yeah, and it's big up north. I've said this before. I've driving around Tuscaloosa. I've noticed, what's with all the New Jersey license plates? A lot of New Jersey students here. They want to come to the South to go to school. I think a lot of it has to do with the maybe a little more conservative, not as much liberal views as they have in the Northeast, and they want to come down to the Southeast where things are a little different. Plus, they like the social aspect of it that they see on Netflix or during football games and all this type stuff. And they come down here and they see it and they enjoy it. And they want to be a part of it, get a good education to go along with it. Because, hey, that's the main reason you're supposed to be there.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't know that the first go around, but I knew it. I just didn't subscribe to it. And then again, Barry, I know you've driven around campus in Tuscaloosa, but
have built a lot of new sorority and fraternity houses, and they got to pay for those things somehow.
I know that John likes to revisit the theme of the real world.
Yeah.
You know, I was in Tuscaloosa 3 weeks ago and went around campus a pretty good bit. I went pretty much all over campus. And some of those sorority houses, OMG.
Unbelievable.
You have got to be kidding me. I mean, if they had horse and carriages parked out front with tuxedoed butlers standing outside the front door with a white towel over their arm, I would not have been surprised. At some point, is there any sort of a introspection where you think, I think we've probably done about as much as we need to do on this sorority house? It's a castle.
They're impressive. They are, and I've certainly both of my daughters were in sororities in Alabama, so I've certainly got to walk around and see what these were all about. And but they got to pay for them somehow, so that's how they get a lot of these females from around the country. They see it, they want to be a part of it. All right, I think we have.
We've wasted enough time. Now we got to get to, as Martina McBride once said, the day of reckoning.
And I hate to do this because I know that Bart Heiss is in the green room. He's going to join us here momentarily, and I hate to reveal a Phantom Daily Dog that. Well, let's just face it, was a loser last night.
Didn't pay off.
It was not very magical in Orlando as the Magic hosted the Atlanta Hawks. They were catching 4.5 at home, still in a playoff battle. Didn't seem to faze the Magic very much as they were beaten by 29 at home last night. Jeez, what are they doing down there? Somebody sprinkle some pixie dust or something on this team. Get them ready to go. This is ridiculous.
Good.
Unbelievable.
Not good.
So we did take our first loss of the week. We're still ahead, 2-1 on the week so far, heading into tonight's Phantoms Daily Dog. And Barry, we're going back to the NBA. We looked at the NIT. I got to tell you, we looked at the NIT. We looked at this other tournament. I'm going to ask Bart about this other tournament. There's some really good teams in that tournament. That didn't really catch my attention. But what about this one, Barry? This game is actually on Prime Video if you'd like to check it out.
Okay.
It is the Minnesota Timberwolves at the Detroit Pistons. Now, the Pistons have already wrapped up the Eastern Conference, load management, all that kind of stuff. The Timberwolves are currently in the 6th position in the Western Conference.
Right.
They're, of course, scratching and clawing to get better playoff positioning. Might not win this game tonight, but I do expect it to be close and very competitive, particularly since Detroit's kind of, looking ahead to postseason already. We're taking the Timberwolves plus the 3.5 at Detroit tonight. And if you want to, you can check it out on Prime Video. It is a TV game, and I think the game tips. It's one of the earlier matchups tonight, and the game is going to tip at 6 o'clock.
There you go. Certainly the Phantom and the Phantom's Daily Dog really upgrades our profile here on the program. Speaking of that, when we come back, this guy,
about that.
This guy will join us. Nicely done. It's Bart Heiss next, Longshore and McKnight, in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
The Montgomery Regional Airport is getting better the more you use it. MGM offers multiple nonstop daily flights to Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas-Fort Worth, and Washington's Reagan National Airport via Delta and American Airlines. And beginning this April, MGM will offer daily nonstop flights to Houston's Intercontinental Airport via United Airlines. All of these cities offer easy connections to destinations all over the country and all over the world. Make travel more cost-effective and less stressful when you utilize your Montgomery Regional Airport. MGM, you can get there from here. Back at it, ready to go on this Thursday, about 21 minutes to the top of the hour. We bring in our man, Bart Heish Hoops, our college basketball insider. Bart, how you doing today, my friend?
Man, I'm good. Open up, start talking. I'm not happy about the Phantom lose. I think that's the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, this year, Barry, I'm not talking about overall, man.
I was about to say, okay.
Just on a Thursday with a loss.
I'm talking about on Wednesdays. Phantoms, listeners might need to pay attention on Wednesdays because there's been a lot of dubs.
Yeah. Now, hopefully you saw the picture that we threw up on the screen.
I didn't know it was like that, did you?
Hey, the 30-year anniversary, Bart? 30 years.
So are you getting at the fact that it's been 30 years or that I'm 50? Which one is it? Because I know I look good 50, in that picture for 50, Barry.
50 is a pretty good number. I'll take 50 right now.
It has. It's been really as bad as we were at Mississippi State this year, as hard as it was to watch Josh Hubbard. I mean, the worst moment of the season was when we were all there. Nobody's talked about this. Nobody knows this. They bring us all back for like this reunion. They brought everybody back.
Right.
The whole teams, which I actually personally I didn't want to. They made us the pedestal, and then everybody else. I mean, and I just don't think there's a lot of success that would have happened for us with the Sweet 16 team. That goes into a different conversation. But we lost to Ole Miss at home, and they were wearing our Final Four replica jerseys. Our Mississippi State guys were.
Right.
And we were down one with 3.5 or 4 seconds to go. Or excuse me, no, it was 11 or 12 seconds to go, and Hub missed 2 free throws, and then missed a game winner that really didn't get it off. So like that was just kind of, but like, now it's a reboot, and it doesn't take that long. Mistakes were made in the portal, but to be around all the guys this year, my point with this is it was such a special year, and we've all reconnected. Marcus Bullard is doing great. I talk to Russell Walters all the time, and you're seeing this other people that would. Matt White played football.
Yes,
he's got some travel ties, but Tupelo ties, but he played football, and he was on the greatest football team, arguably, because it won an SEC title, which was it or wasn't it compared to Dak's teams, I don't know. But he appreciated it enough to take pictures of us and do story about
Very
it.
Nice.
And that's just, it was a big deal. My dad said it was a big deal when we did it, and he was right. I wish I would have gotten, I wish 30 years past my dad could be here, but my mom got to go with me to that photo shoot, and we went to dinner at Old Waverly. And so she
nice.
So great. I made an appearance. They always wonder, I said, are you sure you remember? We never see you. I said, Ghost will make an appearance every once in a while.
Now,
love it.
Was it a thing? Is it a thing? Is it worthy of conversation to speak about how Duke absolutely spit the bit in the last 2 years in the tournament with big leads? This year, the memorable shot by Braden Mullins to make a winner out of UConn. Is that a thing?
Oof. Not yet, but close. I think because of the gap. How much was the lead last year?
It was 9.
Yeah, it wasn't double digit only, but it was close.
Right. Yes.
But 19's a whole different animal. I mean, that's Barry. You know this. I mean, and it's not that. But when you're at games, it's different than watching games. But it's the same when you see momentum change.
Yes.
If that makes sense. And you can't get it stuck. And here we said it. I had this conversation with my best friend from college's son, who's a manager at Mississippi State. If you're over in Starkville, Big E's Dinner Club, by the way.
Okay.
But he
You know, who's better at the master of a plug? I mean, Bart's up there with my
He'll
level.
zip it in there.
I can throw in a plug.
It's like Ian Eagle throwing in the good wine at the end of the game there. You know, he brought the good wine out for that real just quick march.
Very nice.
I really think when I look back on how that game came together, I'm because of Danny Hurley. And that's really the only reason, because nobody's really talking about the fact that they blew a 20-point lead.
Yeah.
Barry, the energy, the way it happened, the way it fit, it didn't really ever feel like to me that UConn had gotten over the hump, even when the ball was coming. They missed the point guard. It finally showed up. You don't lose games down 19. The flow wasn't good offensively. UConn turned the pressure up, but they were supposed to foul SARS. That was the plan. You could read Danny Hurley's lips. When the ball came back to SARS after throwing it in, they were supposed to foul him.
Right.
That was the analytics. Well, the foul came too late. And so actually Boozer broke perfectly and early and got the ball in the middle. When he got the ball in the middle, what was astonishing to me, UConn, when he turned around, there's a trap there with two people. You know what that means? That means that's been practiced. That's what that means to me.
Okay. All
Hands
right.
up, both in a jump stop position, being the second off the floor. All you got to do is dribble the clock out or pass fake or dribble around and back. But I just, to me, then the unselfishness of Caravan
To get rid of it again. Yes.
Just like Sturts from Iowa, you got to trust your teammate. Sometimes it might not work out. But when that freshman gave it up, them hands got a little loose, John. I get chills thinking about it. And he got in that little walk to where he was going to step into it.
Yeah.
He's a stepper, not a hopper.
Right.
Shooters know what I'm talking about. And he stepped into that thing from about 30, 32, and it never wasn't going in.
Yes.
By the way he reacted. So I think the emotion of it being one of the great, it's just the kind of the same thing. Why does nobody ever talk about the fact that Rick Pitino didn't put anybody on the ball on Grant Hill?
Right.
Like we've talked about Todd Golden.
He had why did Feldhaus and John Pelfrey play behind Leitner, behind the free throw line?
Or come dig somebody. I mean, you got three guys standing around there that were just kind of standing and watching. But where does it rank? I think that the magnitude of the play,
yes,
the greatness of the call, by the greatness of the crew who had a Duke guy on it, who was respected by Bill Radford. I think that's one of the reasons he was shocked too. He just said, "Oh man, I bet Grant's upset." But I'm in awe of Danny Hurley. And I'm not a huge fan. And then the guy's just weird, man.
Yeah.
Like Ian Eagle told us about his suits. They have to take special things to wash his underwear on the road.
Oh,
like he wears the same suit. They have to he wears the same everything, same shoes, same. And he has to have the inner lining of his suit redone at the end of every season. Ian Eagle said that yesterday on the press box.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting here but if you think about it, at the end of the interview, Barry, and I'll finish it up with this, he said, "Where's my pen? I can't find my pen. I've lost my pen." His pen, the little pens you wear, he said, "I collect these pens."
Right.
And you could tell that OCD mind is just way out there. You know, reminds me of some of those. I don't know if I was going to say, what y'all talking about sororities earlier?
Yeah.
Yes.
Some of those minds back in the day I used to deal with. But go ahead.
Hey, Bart, Saturday, the Final Four will start. Now, people are wondering why in the world are Michigan and Arizona playing on Saturday? That's the two best teams. Well, that's just the way it played out. But Illinois, UConn, the first game, Michigan and Arizona. Illinois is a 1.5-point favorite over UConn. Michigan, a 1.5-point favorite over Arizona. Your thoughts about those two matchups?
Found an interesting nugget that I haven't run with. I'd like to run with it here and see what you guys and your listeners think about it. Because I do all these high school games, and I think that makes my opinion here somewhat relevant in a sense if I can catch things like this. If you look at Wagler and you look at Pete, and I know you mentioned Arizona, Michigan, but
Right.
both of those kids, big-time high school careers. Big-time. Pete won 4 state championships in a row, if I'm not mistaken. Wagler wasn't being recruited until he got to that tournament by Illinois. And Brad Underwood signed him and never saw him play, if I'm not mistaken. If that's the case, what kind of showing did he have in that tournament to get a Big Ten offer as a high school kid coming out now? Well, now you see it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't push him off his spot. We talked about it on the show. He's the guy to watch. He had 19 in that final. He can create. You can't speed him up. And what happens is they just go to work with all that Euro. And then when it gets into the game, they got a guy that when they get in the bonus, he's either getting to the free throw line, he's finishing, he uses his body well. Illinois has fallen into a really good how's the game called deal. That's them, and that's on the other side. But Arizona, Michigan's a heavyweight bout. I mean, there's no it is heavyweight bout. One of those games maybe that you focus so hard on the semi, you forget about the final. And until we prove Danny Hurley wrong, if he wins this is 3 out of 4, guys. Am I wrong about that?
Yes, you are right.
Think about that. Nobody's talking about that either. So, like, if that's where we are, I'm worried for Illinois on that other side. They haven't been here, man. And they have not been here. I know they play a lot of professional games together. I know that. But when you walk in that place and you feel that energy, like I got to feel when Braden Smith broke the national all-time assist record that I felt when I walked in watching Danny Manning, watching Stacey King in Oklahoma come through Birmingham, going and watching Charles Barkley and Charles Person both lose in the tournament. Well, no, Charles Barkley in the tournament, crying when Auburn. I mean, there's just a thing about this that there's going to be a lot of electric headaches for those kids when they walk out on that floor. And what I mean by that is when that energy hits you at that Final Four, and when those, even though it's a big deal to them, those cameras, everything's going to be a little bit bigger. Mm-hmm. And this was Brad Underwood's goal. I wanted to get to a Final Four. Well, you're here, and the experience of UConn still got natty guys on that team, fellas. And so I like UConn in that one. But on the other side, who's got the better front line, Barry?
Oh, Michigan.
Really?
Michigan.
So so you're considering Yoxel on the front line and not the perimeter.
Well, yeah. I mean, okay. In terms of being able to do pretty much anything.
You're right. And but my deal is Michigan has the best player on the floor.
Yes.
Definitely the best two-way player. Jaden Bradley ain't far behind him in the two.
Former Alabama player, by the way.
I watched him beat Mississippi State almost by himself in the second half a couple of years ago. He's a tenacious defender. He's the third best player on his team and was the Big 12 Player of the Year.
Yes, who wasn't even the best player on the Arizona State?
I mean, that would be like Valdez being the Player of the Year.
Yeah. And not being the best player for Troy. Yeah.
And I mean, he's a very important piece.
Yeah.
But I'm not. Arizona can beat you in so.
Oh, I'm impressed. They can win
ways.
that game.
Michigan's going to have to make 3-point shots. If Michigan makes 7 or 8 3-point shots, if they get to double digits, they can win the game. Otherwise, I'm not seeing it. Free throw line and how this game is called. Also, a huge deal. Yeah. Mara's a problem. Johnson's the X factor, and Yaxel's the dude.
Yaxel's the one guy on scout. You got to say, okay, he's the first guy we got to deal with. Yeah.
So, Bart, next week when you join us, we'll be wrapping up the college basketball season. We'll have a national champion and maybe look ahead to maybe some of the coaching openings. But between now and then, let our viewers and listeners know how they can follow you on Heitch Hoops.
Yeah, Heitch Hoops is on Twitter at bheitch22 and or on Instagram at Heitch Hoops. And PressBoxRadio.com. You can catch us and listen to us. It's kind of always running.
Yeah.
And then we're just all over kind of the Southeast.
Yeah.
John, before I leave, Barry, I need to ask John something.
All right, go ahead.
It's the pool don't open till 9 o'clock out here. And we got kids trying to get in. Do I need to go out here and
cannot get in the pool till 9 a.m. There's strict rules.
I mean, like, what do we do? But they're on vacation. There's going to be a dad out there.
Just throw a baby Ruth in the middle of it and see what happens. Appreciate
y'all,
you, Bart.
guys. Enjoy Final
Thank you,
Four
man.
weekend.
Talk to you next week, Bart.
Yeah.
High Hoops, number 22 for the Mississippi State Final Four team.
Quick break. Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. When we come back, Longshore and McKnight, association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Local banking expertise, the newest innovations and technology, personal attention, genuine hospitality. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. They invite you to experience it for yourself. Welcome to banking above and beyond at Riverbank and Trust. Locations throughout the river region, locations throughout the state of Alabama. River Bank and Trust.
Don't miss your chance to win big at Victoryland Casino. Play the latest, hottest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. Don't miss out on your free play. Stop by Player Rewards today and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. Come see why our players keep coming back. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, located off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
Okay, let's get right to this. The Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. I see 5 topics that we have never seen, have no clue what they're about.
No.
What do you say we spin this thing and let's get it going?
All right. Brought to you by Victoryland 777 Casino, exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama, where you can be a winner too. Let's see what Gurn's coming up with on the title on this last one. All right. His typing skills. All right.
Watch the teeth.
Okay. All right. There we
I'm
go.
thinking
Okay.
hockey.
We're ready to get this. Okay. We got 6. Here we go.
We do have 6. All right, let's go. Let's see what we got.
Let's do this.
Watch the teeth. Gotta be hockey if I had to say it.
Loving it. Oh, this is the Alabama women's basketball.
Is that McLovin?
No.
No, there
Pauline Love,
Welcome
head women's
back.
basketball coach. You know, we had intimated that there were other coaches in the local area. But Pauline Love, she is no stranger to Alabama. Did you know that, John, that she's no stranger to Alabama? It feels like she's a stranger to Alabama.
Yeah.
Pauline's vision for the program in preparation to lead. I think they've got this in a file on their laptop. Blank's vision for this program in preparation to lead blank Alabama blank is incredibly impressive. We look forward to seeing the Tide continue to rise under your leader.
I don't know if they had a press conference with
they will.
state media there, but if my first question would be, Coach Love, how are you going to win when you got the least amount of money to spend in the SEC?
And that will probably end just like Noon with Nick that John was at that one time.
Never got invited back.
He asked he got a little feisty with the question, and that was that. Okay. We'll see how she does.
We'll see. Hey, I'm pulling for her, Barry. Hope she's a winner.
Can she compete in state with Auburn women's basketball coach? Larry Vickers. Okay. Here we go. Watch the teeth. He was titling this as
wait a minute.
I'm telling you, if you catch a great white shark on your this is surf fishing. My son Jack does that a lot. If you catch a shark on your surf line, I'm just getting out the scissors. I'm the heck with it. I ain't going out there and pulling the hook out of the shark.
No.
There's no way.
No way. I'm with you. I'm snipping the line and you know,
God bless you.
Yeah, like Dangerfield said, last time I saw a mouth like that, it had a hook in it.
You know, you look up there at all those people on the marina pier. They're like NASCAR guys. You know what they wouldn't mind seeing? They wouldn't mind seeing that shark,
Yeah, circle back around and take a chump out of that guy's leg.
That's what they're like. Oh, man, wonder what happens. They're just like NASCAR. You're rooting for a crash.
Yeah, there goes the fish.
So there goes the shark. Stupid. What is he doing anyway?
You think you've been in the Gulf and you just didn't know it, but there was a shark about 20 feet from you and you just didn't know?
Nope. A big nope.
I got to think in my days of swimming in the Gulf of Mexico, Barry, there probably been a time or two that there was some breed of a shark within 20 feet of me.
I caught like a little sand shark up at Cape San Blas when I was a little kid.
I'm just thinking there's probably been one swimming near me and just
you don't want to know. You don't want to know.
Don't tell me if it happened.
Back at it. Here we go.
Let's do it. Maybe I smelled too bad and the shark went, I ain't going over there.
Ain't nothing wrong with that if that's what it takes. Can't be stopped. That's an Alb reference in the Rodney Orr segment. Can't be stopped. Paul George against the horrendous Washington Wizards. He's with the 76ers these days, and he scored, I think it was 63 the other night, which is his highest. No, he ended up with 39. I'm sorry. Yeah, 39 points. Didn't score at all in the fourth quarter. He could have ended up with 60.
Wait a minute. Scored 39 in 3 quarters?
Yes. 6 assists. He's a really good player, but his best days are behind him now. But he did score 39, the most he's ever scored in a Sixers uniform. We call that a Cam Petway performance.
I was just about to say.
Who did he score it against?
Yeah.
You know,
when they do that against Oklahoma City, I don't think so.
All right. That's
All right, who else we got?
A little NBA reference. We've gone women's basketball. We've gone Shark. We've gone NBA. We can run a little long. I got a little time, John. We got time. We got time.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's do it.
Here we go. A lot of Bart. More Bart, less.
Excuse my French. Huh.
Somebody used some bad language.
Well, Auburn just got a guy from France, didn't they? No.
Oh, San Francisco Giants. Matt Chapman cussed out a teammate. He gets charged with an error. All right, what happened here? All right.
Blooper.
The first baseman stretched too early. He could have caught that ball, but he stretched too early and wasn't in a position. You got to wait till the throw is made and then adjust. I played a lot of first base. Now watch.
Stuff.
Third baseman, once you catch the ball.
I think he said something else.
Ball. Catch the bleeping ball. That's the number one thing is to catch it.
Yeah.
He ain't saying anything back to him. I mean, he's sitting there taking it.
That's awful. That's not a good teammate. Catch the bleeping ball.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see Ty Simpson doing that to Ryan Williams on the 47 chances.
You might see Bo Nix make some comment like that, though.
On the sidelines at an Auburn game.
Yeah.
Catch the bleeping
I like
ball.
that. Hey, listen. Hey, if you're not good enough, I'm gonna let you know it. You don't like it, move on. Go
need a little more. How about something for the effort?
Yeah,
here.
that player probably went to the manager and said, "You got to cut that guy. He's terrible."
Yeah, what's he doing? I threw it right there. All right, back at it.
Let's see what we got. Bonus time today, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, exactly. Because Bart, it's a Final Four. You can't expect him to run long.
Yeah, come on.
Bad karma. We've had this topic before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Umpire C.B. Buckner, who's been horrendous this year. This is what's happening with its ABS. That does hurt.
Ouch, man. Caught him right in the face.
No kidding around. He's been the worst umpire in Major League Baseball, but that ain't cool right there.
Yeah. I can see why, man. I got to know what day it is. I mean, gee whiz.
Watch this in slow motion. Boom. Right.
Yeah.
In the face.
Oh.
I don't care if you got that big old mask on. That will make your eyes water right there.
Yeah, well, I don't know, Barry. If that ball would have hit him a little lower, yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Serious ball.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's that. No jokes about CB Buckner and how poorly he's done this year. He took a big shot. Okay, one more.
Is that why he's doing the Rays game? Because he's such a crappy ump?
No, they don't do it that way. You're terrible. Let's send you to go do the Rays game because nobody's watching. All right, one more. Bad draft, which you'll never have from Bud Light, for sure.
That's exactly right. This is a NASCAR? No, let's see what we got. Wait a minute.
The Blazers have fined $100,000 to executives.
To a little tampering?
I think that's it. Contact with draft ineligibles. Blazer center Yang Hansen. Yang Hansen. Is he one of the Hansen brothers?
I don't know.
He is a 7-footer. I think his father must be American or something. But yeah, you can't do that. I mean, you cannot say, "Hey, man, hey, Yang, it's a parking lot."
I think he's named after his father.
I think he's named after the guy on Caddyshack. But
that was Wang, not Yang.
No, that's right. But you can't do that. This is called laying the groundwork. Hey, man, if you ever decide to enter the NBA draft, we sure would have a place for you.
Don't forget about us. That's exactly right.
So Yang, so they ended up tampering with him. They ended up signing him. What's he doing for him? 2.3 points a game. I ask you, was it worth it? I submit to you that it was not.
Well, it was a great day today. Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover, Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, and Bart Heisch, our college basketball insider. Great list of guests today. Tomorrow, we'll keep it going with Josh Harris, the Moneyline Magician. Get ready, Theotis. He's on tomorrow. Also, Ralph Michaels, Wager Talking the Gold Sheet. We'll talk Final Four with Ralph tomorrow as we broadcast from Stivers Ford in Montgomery.
It's going to be great. Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.